Walmart, which is looking to get into NFTs and cryptocurrencies. Hey, how's it going, guys? Kevin here with Entertaining Entropy. You know, I have this physical coin with a little dog on it that you probably can't see. If I hold it up to the camera, it's even more blurry. But you may recognize it as the Dogecoin. I'm not trying to sell anything. There ain't no scam here. I'm not trying to lead you to go do anything or sign up for my course. I just want you to learn a little bit, maybe. Learn together, earn together. That's my new motto here on Entertaining Entropy. I'm covering topics like this every single week. Investing, trading on the stock market. Sure, we're getting into cryptocurrencies, NFTs, technology. But if you want to see something else, or if you wanted me to dive into something more, please leave me comments below. Let me know. Ask me questions. And again, subscribe for weekly updates. I'm going to be spitting out videos like this all the time, so make sure you stay tuned. Today, I'm going to start with a Crypto 101, just a foundational understanding of crypto. We're really going to just kind of scream through that pretty quickly. I have another video that goes into that already, so you can check that out. I'll then follow that up with a NFT 101, baseline on what NFTs are. Sure, gotta get understandings before we can get into it. Skip ahead if you already understand. Just build your foundational knowledge onto what I'll have following in that video, which is going to be 3 different cryptocurrencies: Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano, and where to find NFTs for those cryptocurrencies, because they're some of my favorites that cover NFTs. We're going to go into their secondary marketplaces where they're having the most popularity and where people are finding the NFTs for those coins. We're going to follow that up with understanding on where to view the NFTs after you've bought them. And then I'll cap the video off with tips and tricks on those types of buying and trading of NFTs on those markets. And then at the very end, some news on some items that are pretty cool that have started happening in the NFT space. So again, subscribe to my channel, check it out, leave me comments. I want to see some engagement. Let's get into it. So I wanted to start off the video on a cryptocurrency 101. And what this is going to represent is just a baseline understanding. I'm going to go through it pretty quick because I have another video that gets into it a little bit more in depth, but really check that out if you wanted some more understanding. This is just to hopefully get you through this video. So cryptocurrencies really are just a string of numbers and letters, and the first and the last of those letters are a certain form or a certain pattern that form an algorithm, and really that algorithm is what makes up the blockchain, because as you have the parts of that algorithm, the sections of it line up the first and the last so that it forms that chain, and you're able to then tie information against that algorithm, against that string of numbers in the form of NFTs and the trading of the actual coins. So these coins are actually all going to have a mission in mind. They're all trying to achieve something, and they have clever ways to pay out the individuals who are taking part and trying to build that ecosystem so that they can sort of get the momentum and the supply going for whatever they're trying to do. In the example of Bitcoin, which I'm sure everybody's heard about, they're using a functionality called proof of work. So my computer produces this information, this long algorithm, after doing a lot of hard work. And so it takes a lot of really heavy resources from a computer to be able to do that. And by doing that, I get payouts. So as I discover new sections of the algorithm, people can tie information to that. And I can also get my payout for discovering that. For other coins like Cardano, it's using something called proof of stake. So where you hold the coin, you get payouts. So that incentivizes people to get them. You also have governance tokens when you have a certain amount of coins, which allows you to make choices and vote on things that are happening in that coin. So these types of coins, by giving these payouts and by achieving these missions, are fueling an ecosystem of assets and things that can be tied, but it's all public information. So what's really good about blockchain and the cryptocurrency markets is that it's all on networks that are separated across sort of people's computers around the world, but it's all something that everybody can tune into, so there's no misconception of who owns what and what information is true or not. It really allows people to have that that resource to be able to reinforce their information of what they're doing in their trades. So I also wanted to give a baseline foundation on NFTs, non-fungible token. Everybody's hearing about it. Maybe you've never heard about it before, but you were wondering what the heck it is anyway. It's a way for me to tie a digital asset to a blockchain so it becomes public knowledge that I own that digital asset and others can verify, yeah, Kevin owns that digital asset. What we can do with this is really just starting to be discovered. We're in the infancy stage of the NFT and cryptocurrency markets, so it's something that we're just finding out about. It's almost like when you first had Atari and those old games with Pong. That's about where we're at right now with the understanding and the level of complexity that we've gotten into with these types of things. But with NFTs, I can at first, a lot of people hear about owning art, so digital forms of pictures. Obviously, I can copy and paste other pictures, but this is one where against the blockchain, again, people know that I own this particular picture. Maybe there's only so many of them made, so it's traded. I can then own or hold value in that particular NFT. Some NFTs even give payouts as well. Just by holding a particular picture, you're getting payouts of a particular coin, incentivizing you to hang on to that NFT or just raising the NFT's value for being a payout system. NFTs can also be used in gaming as well. So where I would have, a virtual space or a virtual world, then these virtual assets, these virtual houses, this virtual land, this virtual clothing is all something that I can own and trade and do something with and has value. As we start to move into the metaverse, which is Zuckerberg, Facebook's idea of where we're having a shared space of this digital world and virtual reality, now I can own a digital house, I can own digital assets in the VR space that are tied to a blockchain so that people know I own it. I could have animations of virtual wings. So when you're looking at me with your VR, now I have these, flaming wings, these smoke wings, whatever it may be, something cool like a glow on myself. I could be dripping in blood. I could be missing my head. It could be any kind of neat effect. So really the assets are limitless. And again, we're really just scratching the surface of what we're getting into with NFTs. Pretty cool stuff. So there's a couple different coins that are going to be allowing you to have NFTs on their blockchain, but there's three that I wanted to get into: Solana, Ethereum, and Cardano. And these are ones that I just happen to like or that are really popular in the case of Ethereum. But they all have their pros and cons, and they're all being used in different ways and have cool platforms, websites, and things that are actually getting into them. So I'll show you some of those. So the first coin with NFTs that I'm going to be getting into is Ethereum. And Ethereum is one of the most popular NFT trading coins because OpenSea is the biggest secondary market of NFT trading in the world from my understanding. And it's one where you can purchase NFTs and then move them to other places where you would originally buy NFTs on the actual website that they're minted. And by minting, it means when they're released, you're gaining the most value. You find that NFTs typically go up in value because there's a limited supply, so people want them more than there are available NFTs. And so Ethereum is a place where you can actually go and trade against that blockchain, although it has a lot of high gas fees because it's an expensive coin, being the second most popular coin on the cryptocurrency market. So Ethereum having gas fees, meaning you actually have these fees every time you try to transfer ownership or move an asset around on the blockchain of Ethereum. Because what that means is you're basically changing the algorithm of what everybody publicly knows. So the gas fee is basically paying the individual who is figuring that out and making those changes against the blockchain so that that change is live and everybody's aware of it. So Ethereum's a good one because it's really popular, because everybody knows it, and it's traded on OpenSea. But again, it's a very expensive coin, so it has limitations. So Solana is the next coin with NFTs that I wanted to cover. The example secondary market that I would use for this one is Magic Eden, which is a really cool place that you could see a wide variety of different NFTs. But Solana is a great cryptocurrency to use NFTs against because it's a lot cheaper than Ethereum. And although Ethereum is really popular, Solana has a lot of new projects that are really cool and coming out that I'm actually interested in and seem to have a lot of upside. DeFi Land is probably my favorite one. You'll see that in a couple of my other videos. But Solana allows you to actually view your NFTs on a website called step.finance. And this way, after I have purchased the NFT and I own it on my wallet, my Solana wallet of whatever kind, I can then view my NFTs with step.finance. So pretty cool. Solana, with their cheaper fees, they have a lot more prospects that are looking into getting into Solana, whereas Ethereum seems to be one that's out the door, or maybe just it's a big contender, but it's not the new guy on the block. So Solana has a lot of upside to it for sure. Cardano will be the final coin that I'll get into that has NFTs against its cryptocurrency blockchain. And Cardano is a great coin to get into because it's a proof of stake coin, meaning it's not actually using heavy resources and hardware to be able to produce and make its ecosystem work. So the cryptocurrency is a lot more environmentally friendly, has a lot of upside for that regard. CNFT.io is the example secondary market that you can get cryptocurrency NFTs against the Cardano blockchain. And this particular website's a great one because it's up and coming. It's one of the bigger ones that I've seen. Once you actually purchase a CNFT, a Cardano NFT, you can view that NFT on pool.pm, another website very much like Solana had, where you're actually able to view and see those NFTs in that public space against that blockchain. Anybody can look it up, but really allows you to view in a different aspect, something that you own in the digital space. A lot of cool and upcoming things on Cardano, and they're partnering with a lot of big names, so I got a lot of upside on them for sure as well. I did want to give a special mention to Elrond, which has a new marketplace that just came out, frameit.gg. So Elrond is one of the blockchains that people don't really know about. It's not really popular, but it is something that's really up and coming, has a lot of upside, and is making a lot of really neat moves. But this new website actually allows you to then see NFTs against that marketplace, against that cryptocurrency. So it's really going to have a big upside for that regard as well. So I wanted to add in some tips and tricks, and these are just some things to talk about as you're looking at NFTs and getting into the space, maybe to add value into your trading. So one of the first things to know is that when you're actually buying the NFTs, it's best to buy it at mint, which means there's a certain number of these NFTs that are going to be released, typically on a website, a Discord, on Twitter, and you're able to follow that and grab it at that moment because there's going to be less available and then there's in demand. And that's typical, but obviously if you're in the right project, that's what you want. Another thing to be aware of is that you want to find projects that have a lot of what's called utility, which means an NFT that has something you can do with it. Maybe it brings it to another website where you're able to build or gain something from that, or produce other NFTs. And that type of utility makes it more valuable. Maybe it gives you payouts. Maybe later they're going to do something more with that NFT. The types of NFTs that you'll find on OpenSea, for example, are typically just going to be virtual art, where you're looking at something. It's only valuable to the beholder, right? So the beauty is in the eye of the beholder really becomes true with NFTs that are just digital forms of art. You could also mint music as well, so it does add a little bit of value to say, well, I'm going to be minting unlimited number of NFTs in a form of a music NFT, and thereby people can only get it from me. The price won't go up, but I'm able to essentially sell my own music and own it, and people know that I own it and they can't copyright me for that regard. One thing that I really wanted to add into this video was a little bit of news and updates about what's been happening in the space. Cardano has actually been blowing up, something that I've been really focusing on. In reference to Ethereum, it has a lot cheaper gas prices. So to be able to purchase assets, I'm not getting hit with these huge fees. Projects like Bosscat Rocket Club are becoming huge on Cardano, and this is one that even one of my friends has gotten into. I've been focusing on, but this is one of many projects that have been really exploding on Cardano's blockchain and bringing a lot of attention to their NFTs. So something to be focused on, and something in the NFT space that's really valuable is land, because as we start to move towards the idea, as Zuckerberg kind of tipped everybody off to with the metaverse, is this virtual reality space is going to need to have somewhere to be. So let's buy the land. Let's start with the land. NFTs for land on Cardano have recently become available. They are so much cheaper to get into than some of the other blockchains that are on the network, so something to look into. And the other thing that's being built right now is something called Pavia, which is a competitor to Sandbox and Decentraland, which is something I go over in one of my other videos. And it's one that is going to be a space where you can have an avatar running around, owning digital assets, being on a digital space in a digital world, a digital land that somebody owns, that everybody owns, in some way or another. And in that way, we can trade these assets and own these assets as we start to build out those ideas and those projects. Another thing that I wanted to mention that's pretty cool is a lot of these big types of companies have started to get into the space. There's a trademark that was recently filed by Walmart, which is looking to get into NFTs and cryptocurrencies for that specific company. And that's a huge company. Of course, everybody knows Gap and Under Armour are also already in that space. I think Gap was the one that was releasing NFTs that are in conjunction with sweatshirts that you get. So you get both the NFT and the sweatshirt to have and grow value and build whatever kind of collection you're doing. So pretty cool stuff, and it's really starting to be something that is drawing the public eye. So thanks so much for watching today's episode. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm here every single week, spitting out weekly episodes, trying to learn together, earn together, guys. And this is where I'm spreading information on things that I've done that seem to have worked for me. I'm into technology. It makes sense to me. I can try to break it down to make sense for you. That's my goal here, to make it easy for people who don't really have the opportunity to understand these things or feel it's too daunting to get into. So let me simplify it. Let me show you what's good, what's not good. Let's help look for scams together too. We're trying to help each other build the space and make something as a, welcoming community as possible. And so I hope you guys join me next week for the next episode. Have a great day. Happy investing.